Never go to Egypt. Why didn't anyone tell me this before? I was scammed 3 times in my first hour in the land of the pharaohs. There isn't a single white person who has visited Egypt who hasn't been scammed in one of these 14 ways. Take a seat. I'll tell you now how they'll try to screw you. Let's start with the base. As soon as you step over the threshold of the plane, from the first seconds you're already in danger. Literally at the first steps, the first place where they'll want to scam you awaits you. This is a visa. You can buy it at the official price of $25, going further to a specially designated place. Or you can buy it at the first counter you come across, joining a huge line of people in front of you and pay $27. The especially lucky ones buy it for $30, like me. I was very lucky. It was night, and apparently they all went crazy there, and were already selling it for $30. Literally 5 minutes after the visas, they will try to scam you for the second time. You go out. You need communication to call a taxi or somehow cooperate with their comrade at the exit from the airport. There will be 4 counters here. You have a roulette on 3 of them. You will definitely be scammed, and maybe on one the chance of being scammed is smaller. And people are sold SIM cards supposedly for 40 gigabytes, on which 5. And the especially lucky ones get a SIM card of 1 gigabyte. Awesome. Even if you ask again, is it 40? Yes. Is it 40 exactly? He says yes. It doesn't mean anything at all. Most likely, you will get what he initially intended for you as a pair. Why is that? The thing is that the Egyptian SIM card is activated an hour after you paid for it. Either you stand next to this guy, wait for an hour to pass, so you can check the balance, whether they really sold you 40. Or you go to your hotel in the hope that you were not deceived, and then you are very surprised why you ran out of traffic for 2 videos, and I was lucky. I really got a 40 gigabyte SIM card. It was even enough for the whole trip from Hurghada to Alexandria, and there was still half of it left. Traffic. That's it. And so you go out with your suitcase, finally into the Egyptian night. You are forced to turn to cunning rogues called taxi drivers. The most pestering, nasty characters. All of them. The number of ways in which taxi drivers can cheat you is endless, limitless. First, they can name a price, and upon arrival they say something like X2. If there are 2 of you, like for 1 character, we agreed on $30, for example, and this is like for 1 person. What are you going to tell him now? Just swear. The stupidest ones usually don't even bother to come up with some kind of scheme to cheat you. They just agree, say, on 100, and upon arrival they ask you for 300. How? Why? Just like that. You got it wrong, right? Give me 300. They might run after you, mumble, babble, create panic, and ruin your mood. The only normal way to avoid all of this is Uber and the eDrive app. It works great. You set the price in advance, like, as a rule, you manage to get there for the price you agreed upon at the beginning. We use them. All sorts of tuk-tuks are in the same boat. When we discuss these topics with people on the internet, I often hear in my address, guys, well, I was with a guide. He warned me that there were scammers everywhere, but I was safe. I laugh in the face of such commentators, because as soon as you get to the guide, you are already in the clutches of the biggest asshole in Egypt. These are the richest scammers that can be found in this country. Yes, it all starts with a so-called meeting with the guide. They gather you in the lobby, for example, and start to unobtrusively ask you what places you wanted to see during your current stay. When you fill out a piece of paper and write pyramids, graves, something else there, you think that you are just filling out a piece of paper, although that is what you are doing. The next day this jerk comes up to you and says, please make a 50% advance payment. Because you didn't just fill out anything, you filled out a very important document. By the way, this was a waybill for the police. I've already made an advance payment for you. And now, so that no one has any problems, now you simply have to go. Because if you suddenly don't go, or buy an excursion from someone other than him, he may try not to let you out of the hotel, but in any case, scare you with this. These bastards, they intimidate, they mislead. They can say that your insurance, for example, only works in the hotel, and on excursions bought from this asshole. The only goal of this guy is to sell you an excursion at 3 times the price of its real cost. So immediately send these Uparok to hell. Don't even come to these meetings. Just silently disappear from his field of vision, and cross to the other side of the lobby as soon as you see this iron. The next item on our program is called that white mug. The price is higher. This applies to absolutely everything. I'm not talking about tourist places specially designated for trade, but about the country as a whole. If you come to Egypt as an independent traveler, in addition to living somewhere, you also need to eat, maybe buy some cigarettes, maybe pay for travel. There wasn't a single transaction that we weren't simply fooled. Tried to scam? Everywhere. Food, cigarettes, travel, housing. If you are a solo traveler, be prepared. They see white skin. That's it. You've already given away the extra couple of dollars. Let's move on. Now I will tell you about the statements that I personally hate the most. Intrusive salespeople. When I say obsessive, I mean obsessive. Keep in mind, all the cute little guys you saw before are just nervously smoking on the sidelines. Egyptian sellers have the maximum, simply off-scale, limitless level of mastery of stickiness. Prilipolovo. They are 3 types. The first one is open. That is, they live mainly next to their shop, on shopping streets. That is, you always know that this is a seller. You can determine his goal. He will try to drag you into his shop by hook or by crook. There are different methods. For example, it may ask you to leave a supposed review in Russian. He may ask to give a business card to some aunt in Samara. By any means, he will lie. He will give you compliments. He may give you some cheap crap to make you feel grateful, and you buy something from him for it. They first offer you to sign it for free, and then they demand a lot of money for it. Because, well, how did you think it was free? What a complete fool. Firstly, the papyrus is entirely Chinese and costs 3 kopecks. Here the word papyrus flows sideways. Naturally, we didn't buy anything from these dealers, although we came across the most simply stuffy ones. At least for the reason that we travel light. We have a small backpack, and we don't need this crap at all. Even if you don't lose money, you will lose a lot of time. Walks can come up to 20 times. You start to get irritated if you have such a superpower to be super calm then cool. I envy you. For me personally, sellers, first places in the top assholes, the second subs, like a sold ninja. They usually follow you for some time to improve the moment of appeal. Either at a traffic light, when you are level, or just walk a little ahead of you. The point is to get into your field of vision. That is, it is as if a random passerby. In this sense, the conversation gradually turns to the fact that his sister has a wonderful shop nearby, or his uncle has a papyrus museum nearby, a wonderful, especially authentic one of them with. First they ask where you are going, the direction you are heading. Most likely, they will tell you, oh, it's closed. Let us show you a better place now. They change your plans and lead you towards the store. The third type of salesman is called fictants. They give you some trinket, which, in fact, it is worth nothing. Also, the goal is to make you feel grateful, and in return for the debt, so that you give them money. They do not sell anything. They just ask for a donation for anything. A Bedouin-type dude came up to us at the pyramids, said that my girlfriend looked like his daughter, showered her with compliments, gave her some plastic thing. And I asked him straight out, man, what do you want to sell us? He was so confused that he didn't even take the thing back, because, as a rule, when you refuse, they take it away from you. We got tired of all these annoying jerks, and decided to go deeper into the village landscapes in the hope that no white man had ever set foot there, and the people were not corrupted. 2 little girls came up to us, so cute, smiling. They took a liana, wove cute rings, hung them on our fingers, waved their hands. We had already forgiven Egypt everything with our hands, and almost left. But after about 15 seconds they caught up with us, and demanded money. Super class. Point number is the next. Assistance. First, they actually provide you with a service that you did not ask for. For example, security at the airport handed me my backpack from the belt, and asked for a back. Also on the train, the attendant in the car grabbed my backpack without asking and dragged it to the next car, to show us our correct seats. Give me some money. In Luxor, in the temple, they opened a small fence for us, showed us the supposedly closed part of the temple, which was being restored, and demanded money. What's typical? All these guys have one special feature. I really like it. I've experimented with it, I'm telling you. No matter how much you give them, they will absolutely always show you with a practiced movement that it's insultingly little. This is their professional deformation. I knew in advance that it was paid, but when he asked for 50 euros for a 10-minute photo shoot on my phone, I almost fainted. I gave him 200 pounds for 100 rubles, and he was extremely pleased. They always ask for X15, X20 in the hope that the sucker will give at least one photographer at the grave of some czar. When he found out that I didn't have any cash to give him a tip for the photos, he asked me to finish the whiskey and cola that was left in the bottle. They basically don't care what to take the tip from. These are the guys. There are also assistants who mimic well-wisher. A Borgian once caught us on the street. This is what a guy looks like, and invited us into his house, showed us how he lives, gave us tea, got to know the whole family. His youngest son even drove us back home on his motorcycle and, naturally, in the end, also demanded money. Again, we conclude that nothing is free in Egypt, and any appeal to you by a stranger potentially leads you to a small or noticeable depletion of your wallet in order to restore the balance on the fucking universe. We also tried to cheat Egypt in several of our situations. There were only 3 of them, when we swindled Egypt. First, we bought dollars on the black market. If the official price is X to the ruble, then on the black market, you could buy X2 to the ruble. Egypt has a difficult economic situation, and the official dollar exchange rate in banks is very different from the dollar of those who have a business and live in an area close to tourist places try to buy dollars from visitors, because you can't buy from banks, but you need to somehow get the money home. There are special groups. Buy, sell, exchange Egypt. There you can write to Russian-speaking people, Russians or people of other nationalities, meet and exchange money. Although it is considered illegal, punishable, but overall the chance that you will be caught is small. We adjusted the balance a little. We tried to travel by train from Luxor to Cairo without buying tickets. For locals it costs 400 rubles per person for a white gentleman. Please be so kind as to pay 5,000, that's euros. Fuck. We asked some criminal-looking guys hanging around near the station to buy us a local ticket for Egyptians at the price of X2 for hell. Also went into the tomb of Khachapsu for free. At the exit, we met some English-speaking guys, asked for their tickets, which they had just left with. With these tickets, we headed to the exit. When they asked us where to bring them, they showed us the tickets they had taken from these guys. They had just left. You just don't remember us. We went into the tomb through the exit. We are moving on to the main point of the program. My personal top one among Egyptian freaks. I never thought, could not think, could not even imagine that I would fall into wild horror and fear from the sound of hooves and, on the scale of inadequacy of pestering, people on horses, and with camels who offer you a ride simply outshine everyone. Those other Egyptian characters are children compared to these jerks. Goosebumps ran down my skin. Panic and tremors would start. And we would try to run away into an alley somewhere, automatically, because these guys don't understand the word no at all. Everything I came up with myself. And I answered in Arabic. I just ignored them. It's useless. Sometimes I even had to hide from them in McDonald's, I admit. They still fill me with wild terror. But fortunately, I have never sat down in their cart or on their hunchback because if I sat down, there would be an even sadder song. If you agreed on 20 pounds, they tell you, they say, give me 20 euros. They might say, yes, 20 pounds trip. And we had 20 trips along this route. Please, mister, uncover your shekels. Here I want to show you, as an example, an insert from a Western citizen who found himself in a similar situation. You can see for yourself how unpleasant your comrades are, how unpleasant it is to interact with them, and how much they can ruin your mood. Please.
Oud, no, Oud.
My horse.
Your horse?
2 horse now.
Oh, that's your Oud.
1 horse.
All right. I asked for 200 ride, and I paid 1,000. No danger. Don't try to attack me with your horse. No, funny, huh? Funny.
No, yeah, sir, 5,000.
Brother, take from him half. 500. It will be horse what? No, man, I paid for it. I paid.
Sir,
You take from him.
5,000.
No, you take from him. You take from him, brother. Thank. Brother, I don't ask for danger. You're cutting me off. You're cutting me off.
Sir, 5,000.
You're cutting me off. What is?
I will ask you to write just one number in the comments. How many of these scams did you fall for if you were in Egypt? Also, perhaps there were some scams I didn't know about. And you can write them in the comments, so that everyone who watches this video can save money in the future. It's a good thing. We are writing. Thanks for watching. Bye.